And now we've got the Ten of Pentacles. So the Empress and the Ten of Pentacles combined is someone who's got a good life. The Empress is someone that looks after themselves, their well-being. There's completion and satisfaction. Completion is coming from the fact that we've got the Ten of Pentacles. Satisfaction comes from both cards. There's a strong family influence in this person's life. Well, that comes from the Ten of Pentacles and the nurture of the Empress. The whole energy is about nurturing. So, she will probably, or he will probably be affected by their family. There's material security around them. That comes from the Ten of Pentacles. But it also means that the Empress is valuing that, okay? And this is someone who nurtures themselves in a luxurious way. Okay? So why? Because you've got the Ten of Pentacles there, luxury. Nurturing, that's coming from the Empress, okay? So by merging two cards together, you can see how this actually works, okay? So let's move on to our next card. Okay, so we've got the Six of Wands here. So we've got the Empress and the Six of Wands, and this is victory in a situation, okay? A confident woman. Can you see where that confidence will come from? If you merge the energy from the Six of Wands into the Empress, you can see that confidence becomes part of the actions of our Empress. She's successful at everything that she does, okay, because she nurtures it and she makes sure that it's happening. She sets her standards very high. She's a winner, and there's lots of admiration from a group of people. Success in a position of application that she's applied for, such as a job or a course or something where there's elevation involved in career or projects that are to do with finance, exams, work, promotion, anything linked with good news about going forwards in their life. So the Empress and the Six of Wands there, great combination. Okay, so next one. Okay, so now we've moved this into the Seven of Cups. So this is a person that's trying to find herself. Can you see that? Okay, there's a lot of emotional confusion around. We know that from the Seven of Cups. Lots of different aspects to this person. So if we feed the Seven of Cups into our Empress, we know that they've got different aspects going on, what they're thinking and what they're feeling, mostly to do with what they're feeling because of the cups, all to do with feelings. There's diverse feelings. They take on lots emotionally, and they keep their options open. They pick things up from other people. Okay, so there you go. What's that all about? Well, if you look, they're able to actually pick up all of the emotions that's going on. There's sensitivity there. It could be quite psychic. There's lots of different emotional sides to their personality. So very diverse as a character. Okay? That this person is shrewd and they need to let go of something. There's inner conflict going on here. This person just wants to get out of a situation, and they may turn their back on their family. They're not seeing eye to eye with other people. They're deceptive, and they need to go in the back door instead of in the front door. So that means sneaking in and finding a way to get your foot in the door. Maybe you know somebody, maybe somebody can pull some strings for you, that kind of a meaning, where somebody sort of is able to help you in some way, and maybe you're not going through it in the way that everyone else has to. You've got a different way. So it can be seen as wrong or sneaky or, gosh, you're making the most of your opportunities. Nothing wrong with that, okay? It's a complete change in direction. We know that because we've got the Seven of Swords, which means U-turns. So it's where we kind of double back on ourselves. But it's also a card of not looking back. So we can double back, but you mustn't look back. You've got to look out for number one. Okay, so let's move that forward. Right, just bear with me a minute. I can bring my camera back in now, I hope. Okay, so here we are. Okay, Just going to move that down a little bit. Okay. My camera's really sort of a little bit on the fuzzy side. Right, okay. So, the Empress and the Nine of Swords. Well, this is a lot of sleepless nights going on here. It's somebody that's worrying about everything, and they cannot change the situation. There's frustrations that they cannot get to the end of a situation, and there's nothing they can do about it. They want everyone to be happy, and they try and try and try, but they find it really hard. And they try far too hard to help people. So this is all in the mind, of course, because we have got swords, and swords is all to do with conversations of the mind, our thoughts. There's not actually anything involved in the action of this. It's the wiring that's going on here mentally, okay? So that's what this is all about, okay? Now, if we keep the Empress and we move on to another card, we feed the two cards together, okay? We've got the Two of Cups, happy card. So this is somebody that's caring and nurturing. You see, if you're feeding the energy of the minor card into the major card, you're getting the background effects of that person. And in this case, because it's the Suit of Cups, it's their emotions. So they are caring, they are nurturing. There is growth in fertility in the relationship that they're currently in. There's physical fulfillment of the desires that's going on as well. There's material pleasures. They're grounded. Their emotional relationships are very grounded. There's a reality to this pair of cards here, because the Empress is Mother Earth. So it means that it's grounded. It's not just, oh, I feel it, and my feelings are there. Because you've got the Empress, it is very grounded. So it depends on both cards, you see. Okay? There's also someone that self-indulges as a person, and they look after themselves. So they're likely to be somebody that, gilds the lily, as it were. Maybe looks after what they takes a real sort of comfort in being able to look good and feel good, and maybe physically take care of themselves, whether it's through exercise or the food that they eat or the way that they dress, that kind of thing. Might even be that they've got healthy boundaries with other people, okay? So the Empress is very much about the nurture of oneself and boundaries and the value. Always think of it as value. So they put value into things, as long as you've got a minor card that's telling you that it's positive, okay? And in this regard, it is, right? Okay. So what have we got here? Right, we've got a little bit more of the Two of Cups. I'm just moving my camera there so you know who I am. Okay, so a little bit more about the Two of Cups. All right, when you've got the Empress and the Two of Cups, it's telling us that this person doesn't like being on their own. They'd rather have somebody beside them, okay? They like having a partner in their life. There's happy influence around them, and they're very loyal. And they're ruled by sensitivity of the heart. They're very trusting, and small things make them happy. There's a sensitivity towards the emotions that must take priority in their life. Okay, so here we go. Hello, we've got somebody saying hi there. Hi, how are you? Lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to add that to the broadcast. There we go. Somebody's saying hello. Okay. Right, so we have somebody coming in saying hi. Okay, lovely, thank you. Right, our next card. Okay, now I've done an awful lot on the Empress because it's a really good example. So I'm not going to do them all today. I'm going to actually come back next week and we'll continue with this. Okay, so I'll get through a couple more and then I'm going to call it a day today. And you can go away and think about, what cards, you got. Use the Empress to practice and try it. Divide your deck into two and shuffle the major cards and shuffle the minor. Or pull out the minor cards as in to accompany your major card, the Empress, seeing as you've had a bit of a head start with me showing you some examples. Okay? It will help you because a card on its own could mean this or this or this. Another good tip is to actually, it can be hard to read for yourself, is what people tell me. Hi, Anna, how are you? Thank you for saying hello. Hello. Lovely. Thank you for coming in. Hi. Good for you. Thank you so much for saying hello. Lovely. So, it can be really hard to actually sort of say, oh gosh, I can't apply it to myself. Well, pull a card for somebody that you know. They don't have to be in your life. I used to practice on famous people, anybody that is actually living. Think of somebody. When I did my group before, I actually used to suggest that they picked either, a celebrity or public figure, and that they actually did a little reading and practiced, and then kind of did a bit of research to see if they could find out if what they had pulled could be found out, by searching on one of the search engines to find out whether or not they were accurate or not. And quite often they did. I remember at the time that one particular person was looking at sort of whether Brexit would happen with Nigel Farage. So there was sort of that going on at the time. And she got that absolutely right. And that was one of my students, and we were just practicing together. And we can do that here if you want to. That's what I'm intending to do. So by doing a few more of these as we go towards the end of October, I'm hoping to bring a couple of guests on that have done the actual courses, which is Sandra and Victor and anyone else that would care to actually sort of come in and maybe sort of talk to you about what it was like going through the courses with me on tarotcourses.online. They really are inexpensive, they're only the cost of, a good pizza with a friend. That's all it is for one of the courses, where you can look at the videos. They're all recorded for you. And then you are able to really look at it. And do remember, I'm not just kind of sharing with you my experience of, how I read and thinking it's great. I actually ran a business with this for many, many years. And back in 2007, 8, I had 250 psychics, as in working with me, answering calls and messages and emails to people 24/7. That company is still running. I walked away from that because I wanted to do the courses, and I can't take calls and do courses at the rate that I was doing back then. It was just impossible to do both. So I went to my own and I just do the readings that I want to, but mainly I'm here to actually help people develop and get a career out of learning tarot, because I know it can actually give you a full-time career or part-time, or it can be a paid hobby, or you can just enjoy being a tarot enthusiast. It doesn't really matter. So those people will be coming on Halloween, and that'd be great, and we'll be able to sort of see how they've done and what they've learned and what was different about all of this, okay? So if we look at the combination of the Empress and the Five of Swords, okay, tricky, all right. There's a domestic situation here, okay? Five of Swords is a card that's all about difficulties, mental difficulties, emotional sort of things are not here at all. This is all mental, okay? So this isn't about what somebody feels. This is about mind games and stress and conflict and having problems with reality because of their thinking, okay? Maybe somebody that's coming to terms with motherhood. Where do we get that from? Does anybody know? Why motherhood? Okay, because it's the Empress, okay, and she's Mother Earth. So motherhood. So it could be, the Empress in this case could be a mother that's really struggling mentally. Makes you think, doesn't it? Battling with herself, guarded, protective of the home. This person is someone who's a peacemaker. They're the diplomat and everything. They're always caught up in the middle, but they're always overthinking the situation. So lots and lots of difficulties, okay? But the battles are, that of the thoughts and of the conversations. This is not, although I say domestic situation, it's not physical. How do we know? We've not got ones. So if that was, the Five of Wands, we've got a different situation. Okay? So in this regard, and it's about motherhood, it's about the nurture of that person because we've got the Empress. So if you fuse cards together, you get a real idea of what it is that the cards are actually saying to you. And in the courses where I show you the positions, you can then tell who that is because of where it is. So it's who, what, where, when. Everybody wants to know when is this going to change, when is this going to come in, when are they going to this or that or the other, when will I get a job, when will I get communication, when will they say sorry, how, all of that. And that's what spread will do because it's a system. And it's like anything. Instead of going in, we all use our intuition. No knocking that. Absolutely. But having a template, a strategy, a method, and then combining your intuition with all of that makes for a great reader. Okay? And I can honestly tell you this works. And yes, there are people that have been able to go and do tarot full time to make that switch in their career. Okay? Based upon how, using this method, if you're going in with just this different spread or this different deck and you're trying to get it, it's difficult because you will get bits and pieces and you can't fuse it all together. And there's nothing worse than somebody feeling that they've had a reading and then walking away with some of it answered, or it might be this or it might be that. One of the greatest ones that I used to get all the time is, gosh, I had a reading and I'm more confused than ever. They said it might be 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, or 5 years. I don't know what to say, and it's really bothering me. So you then have to go, okay, let's forget about that. Let's do a fresh reading and let's have a look at it. And I will tell you what I get. There are times when you cannot get timing, okay? I teach you that in the course, and that's all to do with the suit that you're getting. So if you get a certain suit, what will give you timing, it will be what we call open, okay? But out of the other 3 suits, yes, I can definitely tell you how to give you timing, and it sticks with that, and it's not this vagueness. It's not just the suits, it's the astrological signs, and there is a method for the position. So it goes on and on and on. And, you can keep learning, but you can keep adding to the mix. What I've done is I've separated the courses so that you can start from the beginning. Then you can choose whether you want to actually go on to intermediate when you're ready to. It's all recorded for you. Okay, why? Because I know you've got busy lives. So you might have 5 minutes to kind of go, I really fancy sort of doing a bit more of my course, but I haven't got long. Well, watch 5 minutes, stop, and then you can go back to it. Okay, and you can then turn around and look at your own. And I don't give you quizzes, and I don't go on about the history of it all because if you're anything like me, I don't like to read things like that. I just want to get going. I'm impatient, with myself, and I want to be able to dive in and enjoy what I'm doing. So I've based it on what I know my ex-readers really loved and wanted, and my ex-pupils, and what it was that they were the same. They all said the same. They didn't want, the fancy bits of where it originated from. You can find that anywhere on the web. When you're doing a course, you want to be able to go, how can I become someone that can actually read the tarot proficiently enough for what I want to do with it next? And that's at professional level. I took you to that stage because I was constantly looking for people to actually come and read on my platform, with my readers, that were able to kind of feel that they were competent, enjoying what they were doing, getting great feedback, getting paid for it, giving their time, feeling valued, and in a position to be able to say that they called the shots of when they worked and when they didn't work, and whether they wanted to do it part-time, where they kind of felt the land and the way of the land, as it were, before they gave up their day job, all that kind of thing. Okay, so has anybody got any questions? Okay, Anna, no, puzzling, no. Okay, right, we'll do one more. Okay, right. Crikey, maybe we'll do one after this because this is a hard one, isn't it? Okay, look at that. Feel the energy of that. You see? So it is about your intuition. You wouldn't need to know much about tarot cards to actually go, my goodness, that looks a little bit of a sorry sight. Well, this is a person, because of the Empress being there, character of the Empress, that feels anguish. But the Ten of Swords is, again, something that's already happened. And it's not physical. Okay, what do we mean by that? This is mental states. Swords are mental. It is about our thoughts or our conversation or communication. Okay, so this person is feeling anguish because mentally they're feeling let down. They're worrying so much. But it's not as bad as this person thinks. As I mentioned, this has already happened. This is not what's a prediction of what's going to happen. Why? Because the Ten of Swords is completion. Okay? So it tells you it's happened. Okay? Again, worries for others, not just for themselves. Okay? So taking the world on into their sort of mental sort of thoughts, which not great. They're feeling undervalued. Any wonder, undervalued. Well, the Empress is all about value. Okay, and we've got the Ten of Swords where there's just no room for value for oneself. There you go. So it's because there's a mental burnout from nurturing others, and mentally they see that they're a scapegoat because they're overwhelmed. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. We'll do one more because that's quite a dark sort of scene there, isn't it? Okay, and this will be our last one for today. Okay, and then we'll be nicely at half an hour. I'm sorry, I know this is probably the worst time of day for a lot of people because America is not yet awake as such. Maybe some are, but you can watch it on the replay. Okay, so a Knight of Pentacles. Well, this means that this person is very grounded. Where do we get that from? Well, it's the earthiness of the pentacle. They're slow and steady. How do we know that? Because the Knight of Pentacles, look at that horse, not moving. Slow, steady, strong, robust. They pay attention to detail. Look at that Knight, looking at that pentacle, studying it, taking it all in. They're prepared to go the slow course. They're prepared to take their time. They value what they're doing. Value coming from the Empress. Things must make sense to this person. Okay, where do we get that from? Again, it's about the factual, material, and the tangible. So it has to have reality. Okay, it has to be logical. And they don't do anything in a hurry. Just look at that card again. I will teach you everything about the Knight of Pentacles, not just these few bits that we're doing here. I can't possibly do a course properly on YouTube. This is tips and tricks to add to the course. This is not meant to replace the course, okay? So they don't do things in a hurry because if we look at that horse, it's not moving, okay? And if it was, it would have strength and it would pull and it would take a heavy load, but it wouldn't gallop or win a race or be performing acrobats or fancy sort of tricks or agility. It's steady, slow, wins the race. Just like this person. They don't take chances. They're terribly reliable because they are grounded and that everything has to make sense to them. Incidentally, pentacles are a combination of all of the other elements of air, water, fire, earth, all combined. So that's the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and the tangible products. Okay? It doesn't mean money. It can, but it doesn't only mean money. It means it's all been put together and it's a product. Okay? A bit like making, something to eat. You've got to actually, first of all, think what you want, really sort of connect with it emotionally. Yes, I'd like to eat that. Then you've got to go and make it. And that's, action. And then you're left with the product. You've made a meal, you can eat it. Okay, right. I don't feel that anybody's asking any questions, so I'm just going to say, please do subscribe to the channel. If you want to leave some comments and ask any questions about this method, please feel free to do so. I'll continue with the Empress next week, and we'll keep moving through the cards, doing some pairs, lots of bits and pieces that I can share with you. But so you don't miss anything, subscribe to the channel and put your comments in there and press the bell so that you're notified when I upload things, so you don't miss out on anything. We do some readings weekly for people, so all of that's there for you. So I'm just going to remind you with this. This is how to subscribe. Okay.